These are 20 things you didn't know about WWE superstars. And at number 20, did you know that The Undertaker is afraid of cucumbers? Yes, the scary big dead man that terrorized everyone's childhood and the WWE roster for over 20 years is actually afraid of cucumbers. As per a story from the deceased pallbearer, The Undertaker is actually scared of cucumbers to the point that he physically throws up at the mere sight of one. Now at number 19, we have the origin for Stone Cold Steve Austin's iconic name. He already had his Steve Austin name ready, but felt like it was missing something, and it didn't really feel like him. While searching for a new name, his then wife, Jeannie Clark, who is British, handed him a cup of hot tea and told him to drink it before it became Stone Cold. The phrase clicked with Austin and he adopted it as his new ring name. Stone Cold Steve Austin is an iconic name, but the Boogeyman is a name that every wrestling fan remembers as being a scary and disgusting character, known for eating worms. But this fact number 18 is that the Boogeyman actually ate real worms as part of his gimmick. It wasn't fake, they weren't gummy worms, they were actual real worms that he used to eat. In an interview, Marty Wright, who played the character, stated that he was willing to eat other creepy crawlies like maggots, crickets, and roaches. He ultimately settled with the worms as the company was worried that the insects might get away in the arena. Now, while the Boogeyman loved to eat worms, this next wrestler was addicted to eating Tic Tacs. Number 17. John Cena revealed that he is obsessed with eating Tic Tacs before his matches, and he actually eats 3 to 5 packets worth before he heads out to the ring. The C Nation leader said, "I always eat Tic Tacs before the match, starting about 3 hours before the match. I consume probably 5 boxes of Tic Tacs on a daily basis before performance." At number 16, a fact you probably didn't know about Brock Lesnar is his nickname when he was younger. Lesnar's childhood friend, Justin, revealed on the WWE DVD, Brock Lesnar Here Comes the Pain, that he used to call him Broccoli. Imagine standing up in front of the beast incarnate himself and having the guts to call him Broccoli. But being called Broccoli is the least of the worries for Brock Lesnar, because back in the day, he and Mr. Perfect were involved in an accident that almost caused a plane to crash during the infamous plane ride from hell accident. This famous plane ride was a plane trip back from the UK that got out of hand when a lot of alcohol, drugs, harassment, and bad behavior was involved with the WWE superstars on board. There was drunken singing, drunken brawling, drug use, hair being cut, inappropriate nudity, and sexual harassment, which resulted in many superstars being fired. Lesnar became involved in a friendly fight, which got out of control alongside Perfect, that resulted in them nearly crashing through the emergency door on numerous occasions, putting everyone on board the plane in danger. Lesnar would receive no repercussions for his involvement, as he wasn't considered to be at fault, and Mr. Perfect was eventually fired. At number 14, we have an interesting fact about the king of Lucha Libre Wrestling, Rey Mysterio. Although he was a star on the WWE roster, winning multiple championships, but there is an interesting fact that I bet you didn't know about him. Rey Mysterio played a stunt double for Freddy Krueger in the movie Freddy vs. Jason. He was a stunt double for many of the small scenes. Now going to our fact number 13, we have a cool fact about The Undertaker. Before he became the dead man that caused fear in every WWE fan's hearts and even superstars, he was actually a really good basketball player and wanted to pursue it as a career instead. Mark Calloway, also known as The Undertaker, played basketball while he was in high school. He attended Waltrip High School in Houston, Texas, where he was a member of the school's basketball team. He was a tall, athletic individual and was reportedly quite skilled at the sport. He was a power forward and incentive player. He did not pursue basketball as a career, however, but he began to train as a professional wrestler after graduating from high school. He began his career in World Class Championship Wrestling in the late 1980s, before joining WWE in 1990. Imagine if he continued to follow his basketball career and slam dunked on the court as the dead man. Now this is something I would love to see. For Undertaker, basketball was just another career choice, but this next superstar actually started weightlifting in order to combat bullying. While appearing on The Tonight Show, Cena revealed that he used to be a skinny guy who was often teased for his choice of clothing and music. The C Nation leader used to get beaten up in school. Instead of learning karate, he decided to get bigger. For Christmas, when Cena was 12 years old, he asked for a weightlifting bench. By the time he was 15, no one was stronger than John Cena. This even led to Cena being named Best Body in his senior yearbook. He definitely showed those bullies who's the man by becoming one of the greatest WWE superstars of all time. A true example of rise above hate. But wrestling and weightlifting isn't the only thing John Cena did. He has also authored several children's books. John Cena always had one message for the kids. It's okay to be different, and it's okay to be you. With this message, Cena committed to creating a book series for kids. He created the monster truck character named Elbow Grease, who isn't the best, but is always true to himself. Elbow Grease's strength is the ability to just focus and work hard on the task ahead. These concepts have been transformative in my life, from my childhood up to now, and it's so important to me to pass the positivity on and help our youngest generation see that the right mindset is the key to achievement, Cena stated in a press release. This man really has a heart made of gold. Reaching the halfway line, Our fact number 10 involves the tribal chief Roman Reigns. Although he is part of a big wrestling family, being cousins with The Rock, wrestling wasn't always Roman's first sport of choice, and he didn't consider it until later down the line. Before wrestling, he played football in the NFL on the Minnesota Vikings as a free agent. He was dropped by the team later down the line, and after playing with a couple of different teams and being dropped from the roster every time, Roman decided that football wasn't his thing and started going after his career in wrestling. In a phone interview with Carlos Pineda of SouthernThingsClean.com, Roman said, "I always had that in the back of my mind and fully in my heart, that I knew if football didn't work out, wrestling would be something that I know I could enjoy. It's something I could thrive in and become the star and be a difference maker in this world." And well, his run now proved that everything happens for a reason. He was never meant to be a football player. He was meant to be the head of the table in WWE. Number 9. Cody Rhodes started All In from a bet with Dave Meltzer, which later sparked the creation of AEW. Before Cody returned to the WWE, he made history outside of it when he created the wrestling pay-per-view All In from a bet. It was Cody Rhodes that helped take the show live after he accepted a bet from Dave Meltzer about how many seats a non-WWE event could sell. The 2018 All In was an independent professional wrestling pay-per-view, promoted by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks in association with Ring of Honor. The event was notable for being the first non-WWE or WCW promoted professional wrestling event in the United States to sell 10,000 tickets since 1993. The success of the event inspired the formation of All Elite Wrestling in January 2019. Cody went on to help the creation of AEW and serving as its executive vice president. And after a great run, it all ended in 2022 after a failed contract negotiation that led to his departure from AEW and his return to WWE at WrestleMania 38 that April, defeating Seth Rollins. Cody then won the Royal Rumble, pointed at the WrestleMania sign, and challenged Roman Reigns to the main event. But wait a minute, have you ever thought about the origins of the whole pointing at the WrestleMania sign tradition? It would seem like this is deeply ingrained in the history of the WWE, but in reality, it is fairly new and was created by none other than John Cena. WWE first began hanging the iconic WrestleMania sign around WrestleMania 20 back in 2004, but it wasn't until 2008 when John Cena made his iconic return at the Royal Rumble match and won that the stunt was formed. After John Cena did it, WWE apparently liked it so much that now every Royal Rumble winner stands at the turnbuckle and points at the sign, which often is led by fireworks to tell the WWE universe that he is going to WrestleMania. So yeah, that tradition is not that old. I bet you didn't know that. Now at number 7, we have none other than the chick magnet CM Punk. Did you know why he is called the chick magnet? Well, he reportedly has a thing for women wrestlers, and actually dated 6 of them. He dated Tracy Brookshaw and Shannon Spruill while wrestling in Ring of Honor. He also dated Maria Kanellis during his time in the WWE OPW. He dated Beth Phoenix, Lita, and of course, his current fiancée, AJ Lee. Chick Magnet really suits Punk, but he is no sexy boy. The only sexy boy in WWE is Shawn Michaels, Mr. WrestleMania. But is he really Mr. WrestleMania? Because the numbers say otherwise. Shawn Michaels actually sucked at WrestleMania, despite being called Mr. WrestleMania. His record at the biggest show is a mere 6 wins and 11 losses, including losing the rematch with The Undertaker that sent him to retirement. Not really sure why people called him that. At number 5, we have a story involving Randy Orton. Orton joined the United States Marines after graduating high school. He completed boot camp, followed by a school of infantry, where he became a squad leader. At some point along the way, Orton realized he didn't have the courage to die for my country, as he stated, and started looking for a way out. After going AWOL twice and disobeying a commanding officer's orders, he received a bad conduct discharge and eventually left the Marines and continued with his WWE run, creating one of the most historic careers ever. Now our next fact will probably shock some of you. Back in the day, before the LA Knight megastar days, just like many other wrestlers, Shawn Ricker also had his fair share of weird and forgetful gimmicks. During his Impact Wrestling run, Knight also joined Pro Wrestling Revolution, a promotion known for celebrating Lucha Libre wrestling. There, he adopted a new, more flamboyant persona, calling himself El Hijo de Trump, which means the son of Trump. This character was a satirical nod to the then President Donald Trump, portraying himself as the illegitimate son to the president. Knight embraced this gimmick wholeheartedly, adopting an exaggerated tan and a blonde wig to enhance his new character's authenticity. Despite this, his portrayal was effective in riling up audiences, leading them to jeer and throw trash at him during his performances, especially when he made controversial comments about building walls and calling his audience bad hombres. El Hijo de Trump's character frequently squared off against Mexican wrestlers, reflecting the political stances and view of his fictional father. This act, while humorous to some, helped Knight win the promotion's top championship, but today, it has been buried deep into LA's history. Speaking of getting politics involved in wrestling, Edge was once accused of bribing a head WWE writer using a flash figure in order to get better bookings. It's not a surprise to hear a story like this regarding Edge, as he is the ultimate opportunist, and seeing an opportunity to get himself better matches, you know Edge would take it. Edge and Christian got in hot water with the WWE locker room when Bob Holly caught them giving a limited edition action figure of The Flash to head writer Brian Gewirtz. All three were close friends, but Holly and other wrestlers felt it was bribery to get booked better. This is where the infamous Wrestlers' Court was created. The Wrestlers' Court saw Edge and Christian on trial for their accusations. They both attempted to laugh it off by purchasing gifts for The Undertaker, who was the judge, and a few other wrestlers. Edge and Christian eventually won back the locker room due to their hard work and professionalism. Now, another fun backstage competition is the infamous WrestleMania that Cody Rhodes and Santino Marella were involved in, that saw Cody losing a bodybuilding competition to Santino. Back in 2009, Santino Marella was a fan favorite in the WWE roster and was constantly making headlines, whether being eliminated from the Royal Rumble in record time, winning the Intercontinental Championship, or sitting on the sidelines while his sister Santina dominated as well. And for Cody Rhodes, he was part of the legacy with Randy Orton and Ted DiBiase Jr., dominating the roster as one of the top factions at the time. One day, however, backstage, Cody Rhodes made a joke at Santino Marella's body shape. This joke led Santino Marella to issue a bodybuilding competition challenge at Cody Rhodes, to be done at the WrestleMania 25 after party. For Cody Rhodes, it was just a small funny competition that they are gonna laugh about. He even went as far as posing in a cheap pair of Walmart men's bikini trunks. But for Santino, it was serious. He showed up to the competition in fantastic shape, dropping 27 pounds, lathered in baby oil, and trained with a professional bodybuilder to learn all the skills needed to execute the best poses. The judges were Drunk Undertaker, Drunk William Regal, and Drunk Vince McMahon, while Triple H was the one coordinating the competition and calling out the poses. Santino Marella shook everyone and actually won the contest, beating Cody Rhodes. WrestleMania was big, and it is still one of the most interesting backstage stories regarding Cody Rhodes. But our final interesting fact also involves Cody Rhodes, but this time, it involves a backstage fistfight with Seth Rollins. When Cody Rhodes returned, his hype was the biggest out of all the superstars on the roster. Suddenly, Cody was at the top of the roster. Fans were cheering him all the time, and the pop at his entrance was getting louder and louder. Cody ended up winning the 2023 Royal Rumble and went on to challenge Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39 for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. But there was one person that despised everything that had to do with Cody Rhodes: Seth Rollins. At the time, Rollins was also a huge star, and fans loved him. He was also getting a great push and was on his way to the main event scene. But the idea that he spent the past few years in the WWE working as hard as he can to become a top main event star, only for it to be taken away from him by a person that not only left the company and came back, but also started a rival company and took shots at the WWE, did not sit well with Rollins. And it even led to a heated argument backstage that was very close to turning into a fistfight. Seth Rollins is the closest I've ever had to backstage turning into a fistfight in front of all of our peers and upper management. It didn't happen. Him and I absolutely can't stand one another. I'll probably try and rip his eyes out, said Cody Rhodes. Seth's frustration with what happened is understandable, but it did end up going well for him, as the new World Heavyweight Championship was announced later, and Seth was the one to win it, making him the face of the Raw brand and holder of one of the top 2 titles in the WWE alongside Roman Reigns. Now we hope you enjoyed these 20 facts about WWE superstars. Let us know in the comments which one was the most interesting for you, and make sure you subscribe for more content.